At this time, the Chair recognizes Jayme Stevenson, First Select Woman of the great town of Darien, for the purposes of nominating Chris Meek.
Good afternoon, fellow delegates from the 4th District. National polls and pundits have highlighted electability as the key factor in the outcome of the Republican presidential primary this cycle. Electability is the buzzword and is swaying voter preference over political ideology. Yet these polls acknowledge that our party is divided on what electability means. While I believe most citizens are craving smaller government and less spending, focusing on these core principles will not be enough to overcome the power of the Democratic machine here in Connecticut. Jim Himes is a formidable opponent with vast resources and the strength of a well-organized party behind him. 2 years ago, we had an outstanding candidate who was ahead in the race but conceded after significant losses in both Bridgeport and Stamford. We need to change our strategy. We need to improve outreach in our cities. Chris Meek is a Stamford resident, and we know Stamford eagerly supports their own. Chris will win Stamford, and that is 7,000 votes. We must not leave those votes on the table. In 2006, Governor Rell captured 43% of Bridgeport during her re-election. She did it by focusing on education and working with the not-for-profit networks. Chris is part of this very important network. He's known and trusted by voters who don't typically vote Republican. They support him and encourage their families and friends and neighbors to support him. Not only does Chris have a better strategy for our cities, he has an army of volunteers ready to work on his campaign to get out the vote in the suburban towns. As a mom of 5, getting young people involved in our communities is a passion of mine. For the past 4 years, Chris has impressed me by his work with the CTGYP. By organizing events throughout our district, he's building an impressive base of young volunteers. These energetic volunteers are a critical component to a successful campaign. While they can't write big checks, the time and energy of these young people is a priceless campaign contribution. And it's this very network that can and will help support our U.S. Senate candidate in the 4th District. Chris is a candidate uniquely positioned to connect with independent and unaffiliated voters. He has a proven track record of doing meaningful projects here in Connecticut and has a winning strategy that includes both towns and cities. I believe our best chance of Republican victory in November is to nominate a candidate who can win the support of voters outside the Republican faithful, increase our base of support in Stamford and Bridgeport, and leverage that support to help our Senate candidate. That candidate is Chris Meek. Honorable Chairman, I'm proud to nominate Chris Meek for the office of United States Congressman from the 4th District of our great state of Connecticut. Thank you.